Alright guys, so we want to start this video by the great news of the day. Michael Irvin has announced he's cancer free. Thank the Lord. The playmaker, he's still with us. Badass. Hey, what's up everybody? Today we're going to talk about the Cowboys' latest update on who they have met with, including, you know, the big names, the 30 visit names. Alright, this is serious. One more time. Alright, this is serious. Alright, because we're getting closer to the draft. We're already here rolling up on April. So, you know, we're weeks away. We're weeks away from this thing going down and seeing how the Cowboys are going to do here, you know. They're looking at a lot of players at all positions. So everything is a viable choice, right? There's nothing really that you can probably scratch off the list. You know, probably quarterback is probably one, kicker, and those two, but everything else is probably wide open. Could be a possibility. But let's get right into it. We're gonna kick this video off by going over the top 30 visits. We don't have all 30 yet, but a lot of these names are starting to filter out, and I have confirmation on a lot of these. So let's get right into it. Okay, the first one here, Kingsley Keke. Okay, defensive tackle out of Texas A&M. We've covered this guy here. 3 tech, he can play the end. They like the position flex. So they met with him in the combine, and he's a 30 visit now. All right, so that's a name to watch out for. The next one, safety, Juan Thornhill out of Virginia. Combine visit, and now a 30 visit. So high interest on the safety there. All right, the next one, John Abram, safety, Mississippi State. Combine and a 30 visit. The Cowboys have high interest in here. This is your typical box safety. They really like this one as well. Might be a player that you may have to, you know, move up to get, however, but we'll see what they do there. Okay, next one, Dre Green, linebacker, Arkansas. Pro day and the 30 visit. Right, this is official. Linebacker who could possibly play into a safety position. He's 5'11". All right, so let's keep an eye on that one there and see what they like about him. They're taking a closer look on him. He's out of Arkansas. All right, the next one, Gerald Willis III, private visit and a 30 visit. So transfer from Florida. We kind of talked about him briefly. You know, he has some potential there, but you have to get through a lot of the minefield or the landmines of his off-field issues. All right, so that one there, we'll see what they do there, but they're bringing him in for a closer look, and sometimes that's what these 30 visits are, to get a closer look. You know, they already have a lot of the stuff, the tape work, everything on video done, but they want to dig a little deeper, you know, to what makes a person tick, and sometimes that's what these are. You know, some of these are late round guys as well, so that they're looking at as possible, you know, late round guys, maybe undrafted free agent guys. So pretty interesting list so far. Okay, next player, Zach Allen, defensive tackle, defensive end, Boston College. All right, high on the Cowboys wish list. He's gaining a lot of momentum, seeing a lot of mocks where he could be going in the first round, so might be out of range for the Cowboys, but nevertheless they really like the player. He would do really good things here with the Cowboys, so they're bringing him in. Jase Sternberger, the tight end out of Texas A&M. This is another one, combine visit now, bringing him in for a closer look, so look out for him. He'll be an early draft, you know, second, third, maybe even fourth. I doubt he'll last the fourth. Looking more at a second or third rounder for him. You know, just because they got Witten doesn't stop them from possibly taking the tight end there if they have one there that they really like. All right, so let's take a look at, you know, keep an eye on that one there. The next one, Taylor Rapp, safety out of Washington. 30 visit, could go in the first round. The most complete safety in my book, Taylor Rapp. So and they like that program. So there's a lot there to like for the Cowboys, and they bring him in for a closer look. All right. The next player, Jalen Ferguson, defensive end out of Louisiana Tech. Sack production is solid, but with him, you're looking at the tape versus his pro day, his workouts. His numbers have been kind of disastrous. So for him, you kind of have to go with rolling the dice and hoping that you get the player that has been making plays all over the place on the field. So that one there, bring him in for closer examination. All right. The next one, Darius Harris, linebacker out of Middle Tennessee State. Private visit, and he's a 30 visit. So this guy, I looked at his tape here recently. He's your typical Mike linebacker, middle linebacker. Has good pursuit. He'll shred and he'll pursue the ball carrier. So I like what I saw from him. Saw 2 games from him, and I can see where the Cowboys have interest in that one there. So he can give you some depth and give you some play on special teams. All right. So next player, Mike Weber, running back, Ohio State. For him, this is a 30 visit. This one for me, I'm lukewarm on this pick here. Typically, I do like Ohio State running backs, but Mike Weber just doesn't really do it for me for this year. I have liked a lot of the running backs that do come out of Ohio State, however. So for him, I think he's an adequate runner. He does have a good ceiling where he can continue to improve, get stronger, and but he's more of a backup type of role. I don't really necessarily see him as somebody that could be in here and could carry a load for the Cowboys, but that's just my opinion. All right. The next player, Deebo Samuel. All right, wide receiver, South Carolina, pro day, and now a 30 visit. So he had a good Senior Bowl, and I'm just reading off my notes here. Solid combine numbers. He's a senior player, return game. He does have hamstring history. That is a concern. He's a yak guy, so he's kind of like a Randall Cobb type of player. You get him the ball, and he'll be physical and run over people. So that's one thing. But he does have those legs that are, susceptible to hamstring type issues, growing pulls, and that kind of thing. So gotta watch that one there. The next one, Emanuel Hall, wide receiver out of Missouri, 30 visit. This is this one here is one that is interesting to me because he's more of a possession wide receiver, 6'2", high spark numbers. So the Cowboys like the athleticism, 4.39, 4.35 vertical. He's your typical Z receiver. But the route tree, watching some of his games, I'm not so sure it's there. So he's still kind of raw with the route tree. And he too has hamstring concerns. So 2 of these receivers, very good, but you got to watch the medicals on them, all right? The next one, Darwin Thompson, running back out of Utah State, private, and now a 30-day visit. Gary Brown visited with him in person. He measures at 5'8". He runs bigger than his size. So if you go and watch this guy play, he is 5'8". But when you watch him run, he has a good burst. He's able to turn on the jets and bust through. I mean, he's not afraid for contact. I like this play. Has good balance, excellent balance, and good vision. All right, so I like that one there. Would he be a changeup back? Just because of the size, I don't really consider him a changeup back just because he runs so well. So Cowboys have interest in that one there. All right. The next one, Tristan Hill, defensive tackle out of UCF. This guy's a 3-track, quick burst, blows up plays in the backfield, can press the quarterback on the way. So Cowboys have interest in that player there. Some of the production dipped off here last season. Because I have such a good rotation there at UCF. All right, so, but you're still getting a good player in here that can contribute in the rotation. All right. The next player coming to Dallas, Dawson Knox, tight end out of Ole Miss. He's a walk-on. For me, he's a passing game receiving tight end, not so much a blocker. Has a high ceiling to improve. He kind of reminds me of some of this new age tight ends where like a Kelsey or like the one tight end that got drafted from the Ravens this past draft, kind of that type of mold where once they get the ball, they're able to do some things with it. So I like him very much. Once he was on the radar, I took a closer look at him. I like him. Go check him out. He's coming in. All right, Nicole Hartman, wide receiver out of Georgia. All right, so didn't play wide receiver until his sophomore season. So the route tree experience is a question for him. But if you're looking at him as a slot guy, you might be able to get away with some stuff there and mask some of those issues that you may have there. All right, and he can give you a spark in the return game. But he is a slot receiver that you can develop. So they're bringing him in. All right, so those are a few of the confirmed 30 visits the Cowboys are taking a look at. And like I said, there's a whole variety of positions that they're looking at. One that you probably notice is offensive line. For me, I think that it would take a certain player for them to fall. But they have looked at some players here, through the whole process. They did look at some players, at the Combine and the Senior Bowl. So it's not out of the realm that they could draft a guy if that person is there and if they have him rated higher than a lot of these other guys that they're bringing in for a closer look. All right. So that's a look at that. All right. Now let's go back now and take a look at my spreadsheet, the beast here, where I have everybody at the Cowboys that looked at. Take a look at this. So if you look at this, all the way from the top, I've been covering this from the get-go since the East-West. So I'm just going to scroll through this here, and you can see what players that they have met with. All right. And yes, the 30 visits are typically the ones that really that their stock is really high and that they're really targeting. But that doesn't, really stop them from drafting any of these other guys that don't make the 30 visit. We've seen the Cowboys draft some players that weren't 30 visits, but they did meet throughout this process. That's why this spreadsheet of mine is very key. You get familiar with some of these names. You got Miles Boykin, Jase Ferguson, Blaze Brown, I covered him. Evan Worthington, Justin Phillips, Jamal Davis, Terrell Hanks. We got some Dallas Day updates as well. Asa Ware, Keaton Sutherland, Isaiah Buggs. Excuse me. Jordan White, Xavier Turner, Dallas Day. Joe Juan Williams. This is an update for you guys. Chris Shark worked him out personally. Vanderbilt, that like his size. He really he towers over guys. I think he's like almost 6'4" or something. But Chris Shark likes that length, that size, that middle of the kicker here, as you can tell. Not a Grambling, and then we got Divine Ozigbo, Dallas Day coming up for him. Marcus Jones. I've got this other guy here from Vanderbilt, Darrell Henderson. A lot of guys like him. They met with him. Trinity Benson. All right, he's coming in for Dallas Day as well. So looking at this, they're meeting a lot of players here. All right, Isaiah Johnson. There's an update here that I did for this one. They met him at the Pro Day. Chris Richard. They like his size. All right, they like his size very much. So, don't be surprised if the Cowboys pull the trigger on a cornerback early. As high as 58. Don't be surprised by it. A lot of us are concentrating on B-line, safety, and that kind of thing. But watch out for that cornerback position. It could come into play here on early pick. If not 58, could be that third round guy. All right. But that's my latest update, guys, on who the Cowboys have met with. Dallas Day visits, top 30 visits. Let me know what you guys think of these list of players the Cowboys have met with. Hit the like button here if you like the content. And as usual, guys, continue to like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you for the next video. Peace.